Hi, I'm Sarah, the Duchess of York, and I can think of no better person for the county of Calaveras. Martin Huberty is the man for you all. He is the most kind, considerate, and special man. He is strong, he's a true gentleman, and he has loved the Calaveras County for so long. I remember in the 80s when his father, Martin's father, and I went and visited Martin there. It's just in his heart. He's just passionate about every rock, the powerhouse, everything to do with the village, everything to do with the county of Calaveras. And I cannot say more how I really hope you understand how lucky you are to have Martin. If Martin's voted in, he will take the county of Calaveras to a place where you can never imagine. So please vote for Martin Huberty.
Good morning, my esteemed colleagues, community leaders, residents, and friends. It's an honor to speak today about the place we all hold so dear, Calaveras County. My name is Martin Huberty, and I'm honored to serve as the chair of the Board of Supervisors this year. Ours is a county defined by breathtaking landscapes, rich traditions, and the strength of community spirit. The strides we make together this past year, or have made this past year, at the county have been of dynamic growth, deepened community bonds, and steadfast resilience. I'd like to start today by telling you a story of 9/11, which it's personal to me. I've known Sarah Ferguson since we were teenagers. She's also known as the Duchess of York. Actually, hang on just a second. There we go. And in 1995, she saw this cover of Newsweek. This was at the Oklahoma City bombing. And she saw this child, and she thought, who's taking care of that child? So she flew to Oklahoma City, and she found that child in the hospital. And he was burned over 80% of his body. His name is PJ, and his grandmother, he lived with his grandmother because his parents were drug addicts. His grandmother looked at Sarah and said, please save my grandson. So she created this doll. She drew it on a napkin. It actually, this is obviously an artist's rendering. Her artwork isn't that good. And she sold this at FAO Schwartz for $20 a doll. And she was able to raise enough money to take care of PJ and other children. She started a charity called Chances for Children. This is PJ, this is Becca. He was 9 years old, he's 30 today. And you can see a little picture of his grandmother at his bedside and obviously the federal building that was bombed. And she would visit him, and she created a whole series of dolls. You can't really see it in this one, but she's got the country doll there, and PJ, and she was able to set up a charity both here in the States and in the UK. Howard Lutnick, who's now our Commerce Secretary, had offices on the 101st floor. He lost almost 700 people that day with Cantor Fitzgerald. Her office was on the same floor, and Little Red sat on her desk and looked up Manhattan towards Central Park. And on that fateful day, when the buildings came down, Little Red was one of the only artifacts intact that came down from that tower. And this was on the front page of the New York Post the next day. And Larry King said, somebody said, oh, look, a child's doll in the article. And Larry King on air said, that's not just a little doll, that's Little Red, and she stands for children's rights all over the world. Little Red happened to be carried out by a fireman, just like PJ. I say this because with that money, the Duchess has been able to, this is figures from 2017. She had built 32 schools from the ground up. She supports 250 schools every year, and she's taught over 30,000 teachers. One of my greatest achievements in working with her was actually having the doll installed in the 9/11 Museum. And if you ever get the chance in New York to go to the 9/11 Museum, it's life-changing. You will remember it for the rest of your life. I say this because coming in as a supervisor was my first foray into government. And I was like, oh, now I get why nothing ever happens. But that was quickly overcome by how much does happen that we as citizens just take for granted. We don't know. I was blown away and continue to be blown away by the dedication and professionalism at the Government Center. Again, like this 9/11 story that I just told, so much good goes on behind the scenes that not everyone is aware of. What truly sets Calaveras apart is our people, neighbors helping neighbors, volunteers supporting local schools and events, youth programs, families coming together at the county fair, parades, music in the park. The spirit of generosity is what makes us strong. This spirit is also exemplified by our county staff. We are proud of our growing small business community, our ranches, vineyards, and our commitment to sustainable growth. Agriculture, tourism, and craftsmanship remain the backbone of our local economy. And with each new business or new infrastructure project, we lay the foundation for a brighter future. To name a few, we've got Jack in the room here, the Wagon Trail project. It's been a huge undertaking, and phase 1 will be complete soon. The district attorney's building, the behavioral health building, and of course the animal shelter are all in the works and moving forward. A quick shout out to our dedicated volunteers at the animal shelter and to Lisa and Shauna, who have recently been bringing in dogs to be adopted into our meetings, and that's really helped. Integrated waste and the opening of the new cell at Rock Creek. This will last for the next 50 to 70 years. It's a huge asset to our county. I was mocked by saying that I thought it was a rite of passage to go to the dump, and I remember, on the weekends going with my father to the dump, and I'll stand by that and say, I think it's really good as children to understand where your waste goes and to know what wastefulness is. The county's support, and the county's support of all of our organizations. One example being the Resource Connection and the food drive. I wish everyone could see the generosity and the creativity that every department at the county does for the food drive. We enjoyed championing our amazing residents this past year with proclamations from Irene Purbel and her stories of Nazi occupation to celebrating last month a combined 94 years of service of 3 amazing retirees, our valedictorians. Celebrating a full year now of Calaveras County's first female sheriff, Sheriff Whiting. To our new employees and department heads, Len DeGroot, Micah Martin, Brett Sampson, and Jesse Sprague, so enjoyed getting to know you and work with you. To Marcos Munoz, and taking the helm at HHSA. The success of our capital improvement projects and the recent Public Works Awards. The heroic task of bringing our 2026 budget into line, which entailed significant reductions for staff and departments. Thank you to our CEO, Teresa Hitchcock and Denise. I'd like to shout out to everyone that makes this county great, and there are so many great achievements to highlight, and these are only a few, but otherwise we'd be here all day. We all know the beauty and challenges of Calaveras, from wildfire preparedness to watershed restoration. Our firefighters, deputies, health workers, and first responders continue to serve with courage and dedication. They've taken bold steps to protect lives, homes, and our natural resources. This has never been more evident than what we experienced last week in Districts 4 and 3. The future of Calaveras lives in our classrooms. From elementary school programs to high school athletics and scholarship opportunities, our county continues to invest in giving young people the tools to thrive. Sherry, Rachel, what you do with On the Right Track, more people should know about. Our youth carry forward the hope of innovation while staying rooted in the values of our community. Calaveras, simply put, is a way of life, a place where history meets progress, where nature inspires resilience, and where community defines us all. Together, let's continue to celebrate the highlights, protect what makes us unique, and build a legacy worthy of the generations to come. Thank you.